Few things about the industry. The best part is we are blessed with it in India and outside too, but especially in India. The other good point about it is in renewable is that while we have the potential, the technology is changing so frequently, it's so dynamic, and all the time it is improving. Especially when I look at from energy space, I have an experience of fossil fuel. I have an experience of uh, even coal-based power stations. It takes a decade for a frame 5 to frame 6 and things like that. Here, after every 2 to 3 years, you will find absolutely different technology in the same sphere, whether it is solar, wind, storage. That's the best part about it. But that's also the worst part about it, that you can't have your investments run for that long if you are in a manufacturing industry. The other part, which is very critical, is that even if you are late, you're not late because there is so on to go. And the way the climate change is now actually impacting us, I think this is one industry where everyone like to spend money. It's good for optics, it's good for business. Let's not forget the fact that it is still an infrastructure. And some of us are running it like a startup. It's not a service industry. If I use the models of a service industry and then try to run an infrastructure, it is going to have some challenges, whether in the near or in the long-term future. I think that's very important for all the CFOs to understand that while on the Excel sheet and PowerPoints, things can become so easy. And then we have examples around us which were successful too. But there are examples around us which have not been very successful too, which are not coming up front now. They're going to take some time. The good part about this industry, if I say, is that once you set up, there is no variable cost. Let me rephrase it. There is very less variable cost compared to many others. But then it also makes all of us who are responsible for that installation to make sure that we have the best quality in front. And when you have something which is dependent on so much of, say, air or a wind velocity or a solar radiations or a water, it is always easy to then blame these God-given virtues to your own deeds, if I can use that word. And hence, since there is no variability, there is no chance of upgrading it too. So hence, you're on day one itself, you won't have any upgradation, at least from infrastructure is concerned. But you can always have some downsides. Second challenge which we face here is it is completely commoditized. There is nothing which is patented today. Everything is commoditized. Modules are commoditized, steel, copper, everything is commoditized here. There is not much of a technology which you can use to actually have a differentiator. So then where are the differentiators? If you ask me currently, most of it is coming from the CFOs. They are coming out with very nice models. Everyone is assuming certain rates of equipments, which are again an assumption. In this particular industry, no one goes into back-to-back, or they turn their back. Let me put it in a different manner. They turn their back the moment things changes. It's considered as back-to-back. It's a new back-to-back in renewables. That's a challenge we have. Even though the project gestation period is not as big as the other infrastructure, you still have challenges. We have foreign exchange, which hits us badly or can go here and there. We have some hedging out there. But have we really worked as an industry where we are looking for at least 440 gigs per annum for the next 8 years? I don't think so we have. If you ask me the maturity level, now if I see and correlate with a human being, then frankly speaking, we have started very serious about this particular renewable industry in this country from 2014 onwards. So I am 8 years old now, if I consider that, even though from early 2000s, each one of us are working. Our first manufacturing was 1991. But let me say in the last 8 to 10 years is what we have, our real-time experience has been. And In next 8 years, whereas a human life I should be at the age group of 16, which is teenager, I am expected to do 500 gigs. What I have done till date, have I reached the maturity level of reaching that stage? Have I taken lessons which I have learned into consideration for the next level? Whether it is my assumptions, it's the quality of my projects, it's the quality of my returns. I think we have not. We are just looking for some success stories. Some of us are projected more than what others. But if you ask me, there are lots of other lessons which we are not taking into consideration. And we are just moving from one milestone to another. I keep on saying this is a marathon which we are running like 100-meter huffs and puffs. Unfortunate part, and let me be very candid to the gathering which is here, that generally in the past, CFOs used to hold that governance flag with them. A flag or a torchbearer of maturity or bringing sensibilities into the system. I think some of us has allured you too much to in that process, that even that is now being vitiated in many organizations I have come across. I think rather than investing money on actual innovation which is required for this country, we have made innovations on our business models. But that's not going to last us long. We need investment in R&D in this country because, like I keep on saying, if I have a rooftop model which can work very well, at the end of the day, the modules are not good for those rooftop modules. I don't have the same roofs which are there in Europe or China, but I'm just using the same ones out here. If I have a distributed generation which can work, I don't have those models, either financial or technical, to work on them. All I'm good at is today is to make large projects. It makes large optics. I think that's one part of it. The good part is that a lot of now new phenomena are coming. Rather than a standalone basis, we are making renewable as 24/7 alternative to a fossil fuel power, which will be much more cost effective, which is what the country needs. Today in this country, we need energy, but we also need a cost effective energy. And that's where I think we have now opportunities here, which we need to actually exploit. Look at the offshore. We have not yet exploited it to the hilt or nothing at all. It is there for ages. It is there as long as the modules have been. Look at the pump storage. Somehow we made hydro as something no because of ecological reasons. But this is available with us. The only one company, few of us are investing in it. We still are not doing much about it. Battery storage, I think we have talked a lot. And somehow being procrastinator or not doing much about it has helped us because it has not panned out in the manner we all were believing it to be. But that's one part. Important factor which we all have to see is if we have to make this renewable power as 24/7, we have to keep on investing those solutions which are actually making it 24/7. Otherwise, our grids are not going to support us. No matter what you say, 500 gigawatt of renewable power is not a joke. Absolutely not a joke. One solar eclipse can take away half of your grid capacities, which are impossible to be contained when you don't have a grid connectivity like Europe, where one country can go to another country and they have hydros which can come out in few seconds. I think we need to work a lot towards it. It's a sunshine industry where each one of us has to see what role we should play. But rather than giving it more optics, we should play on the fundamentals. We also have to see that tomorrow when the hydrogen, which has been now garnering the maximum number of, I would say, potential investments, how soon it is going to come for this country, and do we really need it in next 3 to 5 years? I don't think so. I think each one of us, and my request to you is to make us the CEOs of this world understand that we need to have a larger goal and a larger vision when we are taking these investments. Today, I don't have instruments for commodity hedging. I don't have. There are hardly one or two companies because it was not required. But look at it. Is module is the only thing which is required in a solar project? No. In a wind project? No. If you ask me, steel plays a very important role. Copper play a very important role in it. And projects takes at least 2 years. We have seen how steel and copper has gone yo-yo in the last 2 years. Do we have anywhere where we can hedge our risk? Because I don't have anything to hedge my returns. They remain constant, specific, firm and fixed for next 25 years. I need to look for some of those solutions which I can get on that. My return on investments today are all on the Excel sheets. Like I said, my operations guy, 95% of the time, to me also, who's in the industry for such a long time, attributes all the non-performances to wind and solar and radiation. But that too only we calibrate. We assume, and then we build our project on it. I think there is a lot which is required today from this group or this selected group and people like you who has to help us to bring a maturity in this industry. We are actually sitting on a gold mine. It's a gold mine for infrastructure because India need energy and the world need clean energy. India also need clean energy. The variabilities are less. We are blessed as a country with more than 1,000 gigawatt of a potential of just wind and solar. Leave aside other means. We are sitting actually on a gold mine. But each one of us will leave a legacy now, which the future generation will carry. If you close our eyes on a climate change, I think leave aside our grandchildren, even our children will suffer. If we close our eyes on the way some of us are taking such a busted decision on our investments just because it is renewable, I think we ourselves are to be blamed for this. I think there are certain expectations which I have generally from everyone, which is that let's work for solutions which are required by us and try to help each other in that process. Somehow till date, whatever this industry has gained or we have come out to this level, it's primarily a gain of across the border. Not much has happened here. We are now finding a lot of investments coming in. But again, we have to be very conscious of the fact that how we are utilizing it. And when you don't have your hedges on your returns and you have so much of infirm ability on the variabilities on just your generation, what is the best way to take it forward? Even though Gautam has said a lot of words, I'm still learning. And I'm still expecting that some of us will collaborate to bring those solutions because there is enough for each one of us.